I welcome you all again in this online course on fundamentals of power electronics. Today we are going to revisit a little bit of basics that we will require in this course and which are very important from the power electronics point of view. So let's start. So today we are going to cover the little bit of network revisit, resistor, inductor basics, capacitor basics, and use of MATLAB for power electronics. So first let's revisit on network KVL. As you all know, Kirchhoff's voltage law is very important when you are having analysis of circuits. And as you all know that what is KVL? KVL is simply in a loop the algebraic sum of voltages is 0. So I will take a very simple example to introduce this KVL. Let's say this resistance is R1, this resistance is R2, this resistance is R3, and this is the circuit that we are going to take. Let's say this voltage is V1, this voltage is V1, this voltage is V2. Assuming current I1 in this loop, this is the first mesh, and I2 in this. So you need to take as many as loops that are there and number of meshes. So if you're trying to apply KVL in this particular loop, so how would you apply? I would assume that voltage rise, I will take it as positive. I will take voltage rise as positive and voltage drop as negative. It may be different from your reference because you may are using different convention of signs. So first I will try to implement KVL in this loop. How? I will go negative to positive from here. That means there is a voltage increase, so I will take it positive V1. Now I am going towards this resistance R1. The current is flowing this direction. As we all know, current flows from higher potential to lower potential. So there is a voltage drop in this R1. So I can write minus I1 R1. Likewise, in this resistance R2, there are two currents. I1 is flowing in this direction and I2 is flowing in this direction. So I will give preference to the current I1 because I am applying KVL for this loop. So I will write minus I1 minus I2 into R2 because I am giving preference to I1, and if I am giving preference to I1, the voltage drop will be here from plus and minus and equal to 0. Likewise, applying KVL in this loop. So if I'm going in this direction while applying KVL, I'm going from positive to negative, means there is a voltage drop. So I will take negative of V2. Likewise, I will go through R2 from this direction. Now I will give preference to the current I2. So I will write minus I2 minus I1 into R2 minus I2 R3 equal to 0. I2 R3 equal to 0. So that's how you can apply the KVL, and KVL equations will be same as that of number of meshes in your network. Let's take another example which we will encounter very frequently in power electronics. Let's say I am having a DC source with the resistance and an inductor and a capacitor. Assuming this battery source voltage V, resistor R, inductor L, capacitor C. So I would write the KVL equation simply. Let us assume current is I and I am applying KVL in this direction. So all voltages will be dropped here. So V is equal to, or simply you can write V minus IR minus L di by dt. In a 5 or 7 minutes we will discuss why this L di by dt is the voltage drop across an inductor, and in the capacitor the voltage is given by 1 upon C integration I dt equal to 0. So that's how you can apply the KVL. Is it clear? Now, next one is our KCL. In KCL, you very well know that current meeting at a node, if some currents are incoming current, some currents are outgoing current, the algebraic sum of the current at a node is equal to 0. The summation I is equal to 0. Now let us assume this current is I1, this current is I2, this current is I3. All these three are incoming current and the outgoing current is I4 and I5. So how would you write the KCL equation? Very simply you will write I1 plus I2, because I am assuming incoming current to be positive, plus I3 minus I4, so outgoing current will become negative, equal to 0. So that's how you will apply the KCL, and I hope it is clear that KVL and KCL are the two most important tools to do the circuit analysis. Resistance or resistor is a very common element of electrical engineering. So symbol of resistor is very clear. This is resistor R, and if it is a varying resistor, then the symbol will become like this. The important to know about here that we want to know the current response in a resistor while applying a voltage. So now let us assume I am having a square wave applied to a resistor. This is voltage V, current I is flowing over here. This is resistor R. So as you can see, the current response in a resistor is instantaneously same as that of the voltage. Means if voltage is changing from positive to negative, the current will change instantaneously from positive to negative. If the voltage is changing from negative to positive, the current will change instantaneously from negative to positive. It is as simple as that. Means whenever there is a change in the voltage, the same change will reflect in the current instantaneously without any delay. So that's resistor. Next is inductor. As you all know, inductor stores energy in magnetic field, right? And now what is inductance? Inductance is the virtue of a coil by which it opposes the change in the current. You need to understand this statement over here. Opposes the change in the current. It is opposing the change, means if current is increasing, inductor will try to reduce it. If current is decreasing, inductor will try to increase it. So it is opposing the change. The inductor don't want to change the current flowing through it, right? And the formula for inductor, L is equal to flux linkages divided by current. And this is a very famous equation we know it as Faraday's law. In Faraday law, you know, the induced voltage E is equal to differentiation of flux linkages with respect to time, and this plus sign comes because of the Lenz's law. So if you put the formula phi b is equal to Li from here to in this equation, so it will become d by dt Li. After differentiating it, you will get minus L di by dt. Like I told you, the voltage induced across the inductor is given by V is equal to L di by dt. And the energy stored in an inductor in magnetic field is given by simply W is equal to half Li square. Now we want to see what this negative signs means over here. For that, I'll take a very simple example that let us assume I am having an inductor where there is a current flowing I. If this current is increasing, right? Let us assume first this current is increasing. If this current is increasing, the polarity of the voltage induced in an inductor will be like this, plus here, minus here, because this particular voltage induced will oppose the change in this current I. That's how it can oppose, because to need to block this change of the current flowing in the inductor, the voltage need to be induced with this polarity. If current is decreasing, if current is decreasing in an inductor, the polarity induced will be such that it will help to increase the current. So polarity will be minus over here and plus over here. Means if current is increasing, the voltage will be such that it will opposite the change, or it will oppose the increment. If the current is decreasing, the inductor will help to increase it by inducing a voltage like this, minus over here and plus over here. Is it clear? Now let us have the formula of an inductor, where you are having a iron piece on which you have wound some number of turns of a wire. Let us assume it to be N. The length of the coil is L. The cross-sectional area is A. Number of turns is N. So inductor of such a coil will be L is equal to mu naught K N square A by L, where mu naught is 4 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Henry per meter. N is the number of turns, A is the area of cross section, and L is the length. So that's how you can calculate the inductance of a coil. Now very important, which will be of to focus over here, that how the current will respond in an inductor if the voltage is square wave, right? So let us assume this voltage to be V, inductor to be L. Let us assume the current is flowing I. So what will be the response? As we all know, the voltage is changing from plus to minus over here, from minus to plus over here, with 0 crossing over here and 0 crossing over here. So now let's see what will be the response of the current. So previously we have seen the voltage induced across the inductor is V is equal to L di by dt. Now we want to check the current response, so I can write I is equal to integration 1 by L integration V dt. So if you want to draw the waveform of I, if you know the waveform of the voltage applied across the inductor, how would you do that? So as you can see, the voltage is constant from here to here. If voltage is constant, if you integrate a constant, you will get a linear part, right? At this point, voltage has changed from positive to, the voltage has changed from positive to negative, but current will not change instantaneously from positive to negative. It will take some time, because like I told you, the inductor will oppose the change. Current cannot change instantaneously in an inductor, so it will change after some time, right? It will take this much time to change the current from here to here, and this time will depend on the value of inductor. Now at this point, the voltage has become positive again, so current will not change instantaneously like in the case of a resistor. It will take again some time and current will increase like this. This concept will be very important. As you can see, even the voltage is negative from here to here. The voltage is negative, but the current remain positive, right? Likewise over here, the voltage is positive in this time t, right? You can check over here, but the current is negative. It will be very much important from power electronics point of view. When we'll see the particular case during the DC to DC converters and rectifier, this concept will become very important, that voltage has become positive but current is still negative because of the inductor L. So that's how you need to draw the response of a current in an inductor based on the waveform of voltage. voltage. Capacitor. Capacitor store energy in electric field, right? And capacitor is the virtue of a capacitance is the virtue of a capacitor which opposes the change in voltage. Like inductor is opposing the change in current. Likewise, the voltage across a capacitor will not change instantaneously. It will take some time, right? And the formulas which are important, like you all know in from 12th class, C is equal to Q by V, and if a parallel plate capacitor is there having a width D, cross sectional area A, so you could say C is equal to epsilon A by D. If you want to establish a relation between voltage and current in case of a capacitor, what you have to do? You all know that rate of charge Q is related integration of I dt, right? So if V is equal to Q by C, in that case you have to replace the Q by integration. So your voltage across a capacitor will become 1 by C integration I dt. And if you want to change the relation, means you want to find out the current, so you can do I is equal to, you know, dq by dt. Q can be replaced with the help of this formula CV. So I will become d CV by dt, assuming capacitance to be constant. So you can write I is equal to C dV over dt, right? And the energy stored in capacitor is E is equal to half CV square. If you revisit, E is equal to half Li square in case of an inductor, where in capacitor it is half CV square. So you have an analogy over here that L can be replaced by C and I will be replaced by V, because inductor is opposing the change of a current and capacitor is opposing the change of voltage. So this analogy can be established. So in a nutshell, I can say that for an inductor, voltage V is equal to L di by dt. If you want current, you need to integrate it. For a capacitor, it is V is equal to 1 by C integration I dt. It is as simple as that. Now we'll see the response of a capacitor having a triangular voltage. So if the voltage is triangular, you all know that you want to find out the current. So current I is given by, for a capacitor, C dV over dt. If you want to know the response, you need to differentiate the voltage waveform. As you can see, the slope is positive over here. If you differentiate it, you will get positive value at this point. Now from here to this point, the slope is negative, the response is negative, constant current. And voltage is changed again from here to here, the response will be like this. So if you want to know the response, you need to differentiate the voltage waveform to get the current flowing through a capacitor. Very important software that can be used to do some analysis with the help of a software in power electronics. MATLAB become a very powerful tool in that case. You can simulate power electronic circuits with the help of the MATLAB. So you can simulate your circuits using MATLAB. After completion of unit 1 and unit 2, we will take a demo or a video lecture on MATLAB. that how to use the MATLAB, what are the different tools available in the MATLAB, and everything we will explain with the help of a video lecture. So for this lecture is completed, and Unit 1 Introduction to Power Electronics is over now. From next we are going to see power electronics devices. Thank you.